Now, what worked in 2008 for Barack Obama is not going to work in 2012 because this time around he has a record to run on, and we are vetting it right here on The Real Obama. And somebody else who was doing this work was conservative new media pioneer, our friend, the late Andrew Breitbart. And before his passing, Andrew penned one final column highlighting a controversial gathering of left-wingers back in 1998. And according to the Chicago Sun-Times, the event that then State Senator Barack Obama agreed to appear at was a play called The Love Song of Saul Alinksy. And although the main attraction of the night was the performance honoring the life and the times of left-wing radical Saul Alinksy, the post-game show included a real panel discussion featuring Senator, well, they said Barack Obama, but it was Barack Obama, as well as some of Alinsky's closest friends, and even, yes, a handful of communist sympathizers. Here to help vet the president in tonight's installment of The Real Obama, we have the editor-at-large of Breitbart.com, Joel Pollack, and the editor-in-chief of Breitbart.com, Ben Shapiro. Guys, welcome back.
And thanks for having us.
You know, didn't you love the coverage after you showed the tape of him hugging Professor Bell? And it's just a hug, ignoring the radical views of Professor Bell, which was, let's see, my model in life is to live to harass white people. The white boys talking about tenure, his praise of a racist and anti-Semite, Louis Farrakhan. You bring that up and you say, well, the hug is significant because of who he was hugging, the radical views that Professor Bell had. What was your reaction to this? What was the reaction you received?
Certainly.
Yeah.
I mean, it was shocking. I mean, again, the media covered it up, and it was a it wasn't just vetting the president. This was vetting the media. Clearly, the media didn't do its job here. And the same thing holds true here with the love song of Saul Alinsky. This stuff has been out there for a long time. I mean, people could have gotten it. And there is a tape, by the way, of the actual play, which is being covered up. And by the way, this week we've spent a fair bit of time vetting President Obama and what he taught back when he was at University of Chicago.
Ben? What do you mean? It's there, available, but we can't get a hold of it.
That's right. The person who's in charge of the theater has told us that we have a source who she told that she didn't want to release the tape because she is a political believer in Barack Obama.
Well, that's what they said on the highlight. All right. Now, why, Joel, do you think this is significant? And again, it seems to be just an ongoing thing. You know, Professor Bell, Saul Alinsky, Acorn, community organizer, Father Flagler, Reverend Wright, Aaron Dorns, and then how he's governed, which is radical left. What do you think this place says?
That's exactly right. It's exactly right because it not only goes to what he believed at the time, which the media avoided or tried not to cover, but it also goes to how he governed. And Obama still says in the White House, look, I'm still a community organizer. And when you talk about things like the war on women and the class warfare, the 99%, all of that is part of Barack Obama's community organizing. And that's the relevance of his authority on Alinsky, which is why he wasn't just on the panel but on the poster. You know, and he's doing this all the time. The left likes to say, hey, this conservative is using a dog whistle. Well, this is a dog whistle campaign. He starts his campaign speech on class warfare in Osawatomie, Kansas. Osawatomie, not just the site of a famous battle by John Brown, but also the name of the Weather Underground's newspaper. So these are all signals to his left-wing base that he's still the class warrior, he's still the community organizer he was back in 1998.
Explain the connection between the Alinsky model and Barack Obama.
The Alinsky model was basically turn everything upside down, use outrageous tactics, keep the other side on the defensive.
Target it, isolate it, all these things that we've talked about.
All of that. Personalize, freeze, destroy. And that's what Obama has done with Rush Limbaugh. That's what he's done with any number of people, whether it's complaining about doctors chopping people's feet off, or whether it's going after the Cambridge Police Department, or whoever it is. Obama wants to distract by going after a particular personal target, a private citizen, and aiming the collective might of the mainstream media at that person. We've said to the mainstream media, hang on, you need to be vetting the president as well as the other candidates. You need to do your job. And instead of which, they're trying to shut us out. But we keep putting the story forward at Breitbart.com.
You know, and this is interesting. We're laying a foundation because we're going to do this every night till election night. And so we're laying the foundation of where Barack Obama developed his views, his campaign promises, his broken promises, and then his record as president. So, you know, for those that are saying, all right, well, why are you talking about some things in the past? Because I don't think the media, Ben, didn't do this in 2008, and I don't think they're going to do it this time either. Because journalism, you know, you know why I think the reason is? I think all these, you know, NBC, ABC, all these guys that won't vet Obama are sucking up to him because they all want interviews.
That's it.
That's
exactly
that seems
right.
to be the
That's
main
exactly
reason.
right. Well, they built a glass wall around him, and it's the job of citizen journalists, and not just who the media says we ought to trust, but it's our job to all pick up hammers and start beating at the glass wall. And that's true for all politicians, not just Obama. I mean, that's what we're trying to do. But the fact is that, yes, his philosophy matters. Yes, his roots matter. And the reason it matters is because we see it being carried forward into the White House each and every day. He says to his friends, look, I'm still a community organizer. He's community organizing America. He wants fundamental change. In order for us to understand what he means by fundamental change, we have to understand what he has always meant by fundamental change. And that means, really, to him, radical change in an extreme left direction.
3 parts. We're going to look at his past, how he developed his ideology, and then we're going to look at his promises as a candidate. We're going to look at what promises were broken, and then we're going to look at his failed record. That's all coming up. We'll vet the president every night, and the media, by the way, from now until Election Day. Thanks, guys, for being with us.
Thanks.
And when we come back, Republican front